chance.
I'm ready for this my whole life.
Then you take us out on the field.
Like the guy says, you're gonna eat lightning and you're gonna crap thunder.
Hey, this is Paul Martin, and you're in the huddle. Hut, hut!
Hut! All right. Going on 3. Well, Paul, we're back here in the huddle once again, and little week of adversity last week against Nashville Christian. And have you was working on a Bible verse here earlier. What we could tell these young men, hey, it's still football season,
It comes out of Proverbs 24:16.
My favorite book.
It says, "For the righteous falls 7 times and rises again, but the wicked, they stumble in times of calamity." So it says, we will rise again if we keep the faith.
There we go.
So keep the faith and rise up.
Keep the faith. That's right. Hey, it's still football season. We didn't win a region championship.
But we got 2 more games and we need to finish strong.
I think we're guaranteed 3 more games at least.
We are.
I'm pretty sure we got
3 more games guaranteed. But as far as the regular season goes, we got PK and we got Red Bull. It's 2 more games and then playoffs. So
Red Bull and got a big win the other night against Selena, as Reno called it.
Yeah. So let's get this show started. What's our first topic to discuss?
Well, we'll go back and discuss this Nashville Christian game if you want to.
All right.
Didn't go our way from the get-go.
We had the ball first, and
3 and out
we
right
marched all the way to maybe their 42-yard line, about 4th and maybe 2, and coaches decided to punt the football. I think if the Tennesseans got you a 4-touchdown underdog, I think you got the ball on your opponent 42, 4th and 2. I think you go for it, but hey, I'm not a coach, so what I know.
That's true. Hey, you're in your own territory, and Nashville Christian's got.
No, actually, we was on their 42-yard line, so I think you go for it on the opposite side of the 50.
But you have, strategically, you got to win that field position battle. You almost have to stay on top of it.
Yeah, but you also have to keep in mind, Rusty, if we get that first down and we go down there and score, we got momentum.
I agree with you on that, and we did right out of the gate toss it up. Kind of try to do like Monterey did us.
That's correct. We went for the home run on the first play and just overthrew him.
The middle of that field would have been wide open, I think.
And just overthrew him.
Hey, those things happen.
It happens, but
they happen.
Offensively,
they went for it. You got to give them credit for that. Hey, we went for it.
I do. We went for the big play, and we just didn't hardly get it. But offensively, my standout offensively. I don't really know what the kid's first name is, but Kirby, number 17. Mitchell Kirby. Mitchell Kirby, number 17. He come in there and he played big, made some great catches for us, and got some yardage. I mean,
he did. I don't know how many yards he had, but hey, he was.
He stepped up and played big for us, though.
He did. At the end of that game, I had somebody tell me, hey, Mitchell Kirby was open all night, and I've said this, numerous times. Mitchell Kirby wasn't just open all night. He's been open all year. And sometimes it's harder to get the ball downfield than what you think. And he is a very athletic young man.
And he's made some key blocks for us during the year.
He has. He made one. We talked about him on the show when we was at Joe Burns. Mm-hmm. He made one that got Vaden in the end zone there right before half when old Coach Martin over here dialed up the hit Jay in the middle of the field play. And hey, we took it to the house just like you said we would. And had Mitchell though, had he not been blocking downfield, that little extra effort, sometimes that's the difference in
scoring or being tackled on the 20.
That's right.
And another stat I want to throw out there offensively, our quarterback hung in there like a beat and threw that ball for 122 passing yards. So
There you go.
he played with no fear. I was proud of the effort. 122 passing yards.
That was pretty good. Our quarterback, little young quarterback, took a beating. You know, sometimes in a big game like that, you gotta win. You gotta win it in the trenches. And personally, you know, nothing to be said bad about the young men. We got our butts whipped in the trenches.
And really, I wouldn't doubt number 27 on their side didn't have about 20 tackles. So, he was their standout. He was their standout, and we didn't do a very good job blocking 27. And had we blocked him, who knows how many points we could have got.
Hey, we knew he was good. We had seen it. You know, he set the tone early.
But next time we play them, if there is a next time, gotta go block 27. He's their starter,
it's
and
interesting
he
you
makes
bring
the
that
plays.
Because I don't think I've ever been right when I've predicted the playoffs before, so I'm due one. And if things were to end the way it is today, I believe if it ended the way it stood right now, that we'd be hosting, who'd I tell you earlier?
Brewston.
Might be coming to town. Now, I don't ever remember a matchup with Brewston, but I could be wrong on that, but I don't ever remember playing them. Matter of fact, I don't even know what their team colors and all that stuff are.
I don't know anything about them either, but it could be an interesting first round match against a team that we know absolutely nothing about.
Just preliminary, and of course they still got some big games to play. I know there's a big game with is it Wayne County and Huntington Friday night?
Yeah, seems me like that's right, and that could very well be for the region championship because they both have not lost a region game, so more likely the winner of that comes out region champion.
That
so
should
we just like to keep y'all updated on that. Wayne County and Huntington played for the region championship.
Another key one there is McEwen and Collinwood. They're still in a toss-up for that third and fourth seed.
I don't know anything about either one of them, but I believe I'd pick the boys from the
I actually think Collinwood
to win that
I think
one.
Collinwood is actually in Wayne County, or it borders it. I had a friend I worked with back several years ago. He played at Collinwood, and
well, I don't know who my colleague Rusty over there is picking to win that game, but I believe I'm going with the boys from the Collinwood.
I'm not 100% on it. Back in the 80s, late 80s, maybe 87, 88, I think his name was Ward. He was, I think he won Mr. Football and he was from Collinwood. He was a real good athlete. But, yeah, as far as the school colors down there, I know they're green, and I think they're green, yellow, and white maybe. And, you know, right there at Wayne County, they've always had, they're like Gordonsville, big time football town, and you know, I think that championship will be determined with Huntington and Wayne County.
And I'll go out on a limb and pick Wayne County to win that ball game.
Yeah, I'd say they'd probably have the upper hand. But if that's the case, scenario plays true with who should win, that I think should win, then I have a feeling.
Then that means that we beat Huddle Rock Brewston according to your schedule. More likely we'll be going to Wayne County.
I've never done this correct, so I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that.
Is that what the bracket lines up for? That we'll be going to Wayne County if we get by Brewston and Wayne County wins?
I think the way I have it lined up. That's just maybe my prediction on who might be coming to Gordonsville. That's a scenario.
But offensively, we as far as the other night, let's go back to the other night. Offensively, Kirby stood out, and our quarterback threw for about 122 yards.
You know, Jay Vaden right off the bat had a good return, and he actually showed good speed all night. And you know, he run that one kid down there toward the end of the game. You know, they're up, which was all right. This is I guess it's coaching etiquette, football etiquette. When you have a lead like that with a few minutes to go in the game.
And the thing that I noticed is they did not pull their starters the whole game. They left those kids in there
the whole thing.
The whole game. That's just classless.
I had somebody tell me, we could have pulled our starters and ended that butt kicking right there. And I disagree with that totally. As long as they've got their starters in, you cannot pull yours. the leading team, whoever, you got a big lead. You're the one that calls off the dogs. All right, if you're on a police chase, right? Who calls off the dogs? You or the police?
The police do.
That's right. There you go. You're the one being chased. You know what I'm doing. It's just the way it goes.
But from what I saw, their coach just has no class whatsoever. Leave his main players in there, run up the score, and then he calls us dirty because we hit his player into the fence. I mean, come on.
You're right. I think they had what did I tell you, something like 9 personal fouls between
for 100. They had 115 yards worth of penalties on the game.
I mean, that's
and most of them were personal foul penalties or late hits.
I don't know how they handle personal fouls at their school, but I think I know from here what I've heard my son say is if you get a personal foul, you run. That's just part of it.
Well, I don't think he runs them because I think from what I've heard, this coach actually cheers it on when they do this dirty stuff.
I would not.
He just he actually coaches them to be dirty, but.
Yeah. That may be true. I don't know much about the guy. I just know
a lot of their penalties, though. If you wasn't at that game the other night, I just want to tell you, a lot of their penalties were cheap shots.
That goes
cheap shot.
That just
and they even hurt our kid. They hurt our kid, Sheldon Harris, on a cheap shot. It was a late hit. The play was already over, and he cheap shotted him.
Listen, if you put on a football helmet, and it was actually right by the football. From the best thing, I remember it very well because I was actually watching the 27 kid because I knew this kid's going to hit somebody.
But it was still a cheap shot, basically.
No, I'm not going to say it was a cheap shot. I remember the play very well. We're coming down the field. Sheldon's kind of, he's playing back a little bit and he turns to make the tackle just like anybody would. And he gets hit in the ear. Shoulder pad to the helmet, Paul. And the hit was not the worst thing in that whole situation. It's standing over our player and taunting him.
Yeah, he stood over our player and taunted him. When the guy's knocked out, he ought to at least show enough class to go back over there to the other side, get on a knee and pray for the man, and not sit over him taunting him like he was celebrating his work.
Yeah, I understand that. The hit, to me, though, when I watched the hit, I thought it was, it's a good hit. Football, if you put on a football helmet, shoulder pads, you expect to get hit. Now, those shots, when you never see it coming, those are always the worst. I took one in my day. Of course, I really didn't get knocked out, but I kind of wish I would have because, my feet flying over my head that's the last thing I really remember about getting hit. And I remember the number of the kid. I did catch the tag on the truck that hit me, number 15, and we were playing Livingston.
Was it on a punt return?
It was on an interception. I run a slant. I think it was Jason Woodard running out route. We were in twins. I cut across his face. He ran the out route. We threw it, and the ball went right between us, right into the defender's hands. So I start chasing him. Then out of the blue, my feet go over my head. You put on a helmet and shoulder pads, somebody's going to get hit. That's all there is to it. Now, like I said, I thought it was a good hit, but the taunting was a little bit classless, I will say that. And
I too got hit like that. It was back in Pee Wee football, but I was playing defense. I was a safety, and this old boy, this old offensive lineman comes up and hits me. I turn a somersault up in the air and land on my head and shoulders straight on the ground. And I tell you what, it didn't feel good.
It didn't feel good. Well, the good news out of all that is Sheldon will be fine, of course. Got a concussion out of the deal.
What's the latest update? Have we heard anything?
I know he's not practicing this week, which TSSAA, they mandate you sit out, I think, and it may even be a couple weeks. They do have maybe a limit. I've heard this. I don't know how true.
Has he returned to the team at least?
He has returned to the team. Of course, he was out of the hospital and home later Friday night. I had talked to his mother.
But he may have to miss the rest of the couple of games.
He was a little sore, but that's expected.
He may miss the next couple games.
He can still move, possibly, and that doesn't even concern me at all. I'm more concerned about how he is as a human being, because there's more to life than football, and it takes a lot to understand that when you're a senior in high school, and it may be the last time you've ever stepped on the field.
Which I do like the kid quite a bit. Good kid.
Oh, I love the kid. No, my
love
son
him
looks
to
up to him
death.
tremendously.
Love him to death, everything, and I'm glad to hear that he's recuperating
First
pretty
and
good,
foremost,
because
your
that's
health,
what we want.
Your health is the most important thing.
Right.
And that's all there is to it. Now, I still have problems with shoulders and knees, and you can walk through life and never live, and you're still gonna end up in the same place. That's my opinion. Or you can live a little bit and have a little fun, live on the edge without going extreme, and you're still going to the same place.
But there's some of us though, like myself, that only believes in the extreme. Because I always believed if you ain't pushing the limit, then you ain't living.
Well, there you go. But anyway, you take that game. Well, we took a shellacking. We got took to the woodshed after that. Now, one thing like this that I see, most of these young men that were on that football field had never seen anyone get knocked out playing football.
Right.
I actually did get to witness this when I was in high school, and we were in a JV game. My best friend is getting carted off the field, and the first thing you want to know is who hit him. And that was our instinct. Of course, the whole time we're concerned about whether our friend's all right.
But you get mad.
Really, it does make you mad.
A lot of people call you dirty, or they do whatever they want to do. But when somebody knocks your brother out, it's going to piss you off.
Yeah.
And you're wondering who hit him, and you're thinking, man, I got to get this kid back. I got to get this kid back.
I'll never forget this as long as I live. I'm going to tell a little story here on Jeremy Pittman. His son Scott actually plays up here. We were playing down at Lebanon, of course. I think it was Alex Williams.
Was it a friendship team?
No, we were playing Lebanon in a JV game, a scrimmage. All right. Stacy and Alex are coming across the field to make a tackle, and they collide. It was head to head. Neither one of them seen it coming. All right. One of them gets up. Of course, they're both kind of loopy. We hit each other. Well, Jeremy Pittman's down in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? Big guy. He's down there battling in the trenches for us. And the first thing we get back to the huddles, who did it? What number did it? And I remember, I sat there a few minutes and nobody said a word. We were concerned about our buddy. Of course, they got the ambulance and everything. You just don't see this stuff at a JV game, And of course, like I said, it was our own player that hit him, which was Stacy, I believe, and Alex was the one that collided. And finally, I just told Pittman, 24 did it, Pittman. Well, a few plays later, we're back in the huddle. And Pittman, he's serious about this. He's looking around, he's like, they don't have a 24. And I'm trying to explain to him after that, hey, Jerry, Stacy's the one that hit him. They collided. And, those things happen. And when you're not when you're not looking, you're not really expecting it, is when it seems to be the worst. If you see that coming, you can kind of brace for impact or whatever, you're going to get a hit. It's football. But thank goodness Sheldon is a tough young man, and I know without a doubt if there's one thing that kid wants to do is get back on a football field. But first and foremost, you have to look after your health. Boxers, they're really big on concussions these days, and that's really changed the game of football. For the better or worse is opinion based.
Well, I want to ask you a question.
I have no answers.
After our player went down, do you think there was any possibility that maybe our kids got a little bit scared, maybe?
Well, I think maybe some of those younger guys, you get a little timid. You can react to that in two ways. One, you're either going to get timid and shy away, Lord, I hope that don't happen to me, or I'm ready to kill him. Let's all go get him. And, our coach used to tell us, boys, there's strength in numbers. I heard Coach Will say that numerous times. There are strength in numbers, and that's true. And, of course, you don't want to do anything. I would have liked to have, if I was playing and that were my teammate, I would have probably tried to rip his head off. That's just me.
Well, let me ask you this.
If you get a stupid penalty at a crucial time, you hurt the whole team.
Well, let's say you're Coach Marshall. I'm gonna put you in his shoes.
I'm not a coach, and I'm not going to step in.
Well, yeah, but if you was Coach Marshall, how would you coach them kids after this was happening? If they want to get out there and roughhouse this team and just be as mean as they are,
I'm not.
How would you coach that?
anybody handled the situation the right or wrong way. I thought it was handled very well. You know what? The boys kept playing football, and toward the end, you know, after the second half, I guess they, you know, this is what I noticed. The rest of that quarter and the second quarter, it was kind of a slow game, you know, and they were kind of getting ahead, and we couldn't tackle. It's like our head was not even in the ball game, and that's my opinion. Is they were still concerned about their friend, you know,
and rightfully so.
And rightfully so. The second half, my opinion, they go in at halftime and they were told, you know, Sheldon's fine. He was knocked out, of course. He's fine, right? The young man's gonna be fine. He's moving all of his extremities. And then they kind of loosened up a little bit, and they went to playing football. We actually went down and scored. What was the score at halftime? Do you remember?
27-0.
27-0. So what, they scored?
They scored 13. We got 7
in the second half. All right, we're playing football. They still got their starters in the game. We still got our starters in the game.
So from that standpoint, for us to only be outscored 13-7 by their main players in the second half, that tells you that we showed some fight and we fought it out and finished the game strong.
You know, you can look at all the negativity. We got beat 40-7. The positive note is, hey, they didn't pull their starters,
and they scored.
They beat us 13-7. And you know,
in the second half, right?
Just like I said earlier, that one hit set the tone for that whole ball game. And you know, if we go up here Friday night, or whoever we're playing, Pickett County, out in the cornfield, I don't know where that is, but we'll discuss Pickett County later. But you come out in the first quarter and make a big hit like that. I'm not saying knock the guy out. I'm just saying make a good big hit, and it will turn the tide of battle instantly into your favor. And that's just the way it is now. The only way to reverse that is as for Pickett County, would be to come out and hit us. And you can reverse that. And really, football from the beginning of time has been about being physical. And
to be honest with you, do I think if we play this team again, we can beat them? Well, I think the fact is the fact that we held them to 13 points in the second half. We settled down. We took their best shot and we kept on pounding. I honestly think we can beat them next time because we've done seen their best shot. We done know what they're about, and now we've got that on film, so we should be able to know what they do and go stop them.
I have the utmost faith that would be a different ball game.
Plus we know now how they want to play, so we know we've got to be mean and physical with them.
Yeah, you got to play physical no matter who you're playing. Not only did that scare the kids that are standing on that sideline, you know, they hadn't seen anything like that. Most of those people sitting in that stands, and I cannot imagine as a parent, you know, my son plays, of course he doesn't play a lot, he's standing on the sideline. But now
Harris's mom, I commend the woman. She was out on that field immediately.
Oh yeah,
she just ran out immediately.
Another senior player's mom was out there. She's a nurse, Watts. Yeah. You know, and you know, it's my heart sank to my stomach when I seen that.
Yeah, when I seen it, I was just like, oh my God, is that kid all right? Because he just went down, he wasn't moving.
And you know, we had said the week before, if you remember, the one player I said would hit you was 27.
Yep.
And you know, I was watching some film. He hit a kid from Pope John Paul, and it was just a good solid lick. Of course, it didn't end in the same result, but hey, it was as hard a hit as you're going to see in high school football. The kid's a big kid, but hey, just like I said, too.
But as far as their big 34 nose guard or whatever, I didn't really see him make a lot of plays.
You know, he did get in there.
We did a pretty good job with him.
He was hard to block. I mean, that middle.
But we did a pretty good job with him, though, blocking him up, didn't we?
I think he did take away part of our offense, running up the middle.
But 27 was pretty much the one that was making all the tackles and clogging us up.
You know, he was cocky and
rude. What do you do? What do you do? I mean, how do you block the kid that's really, really fast? How you block at 27?
You just got to get a hat on him. And you find your meanest kid that wants to hit somebody and you go hit him every play. I
even heard one of her fans tell me, said, what I noticed on that game the other night is we was trying to run away from their guys, and if we would have just tucked it in there and run right at them, we might have wore them down, and it might have made a difference if we run right at them.
I don't agree with that. You see that in the NFL, you try to avoid their best players. That's what you do. That's your strategy.
But don't you agree though? You can wear them kids down if you keep running at them and pounding
You
them.
can, but you're going to wear yourself down in the process, and that's, you have to take that into consideration. But
But
anyway,
it could
looking back
also
on
let them
that
know,
game,
hey, I'm not afraid of you. I'm gonna keep coming at you.
that's right. Looking back on that game, you know what? We took a shellacking, but you know what? It's still football season. Playoffs are coming up, a couple weeks. Get healthy. I expect some of these younger guys to step up and play in the next couple weeks. Get our team back healthy and get ready for
Pickett County.
We got to get ready for Pickett County. You take 1 week at a time. But hey, you got to get ready for down the road. It's coming, and it's coming fast. And I think maybe these seniors, when they realize that, I think sometimes that's why the playoffs are so good in high school football, because they realize this could be it. This could be the last time I ever play football. So they step it up a notch, and I expect to see that. Now, we was talking about players of the game. Who'd you pick from last week? Mitchell Kirby.
Mitchell Kirby.
We were in total
offense.
agreement on that. Defensively, who'd you pick?
I went with Tanner Billingsley because I think the kid had about 2 sacks, and then he also got in the backfield a time or two and made some tackles. So I went with Tanner.
Yeah. Somebody actually stepped up and hit. I like the way Askew played. Dakota Washer also played good back there, but I'm going to pick Askew defensively. He did come up, make some tackles when it seemed like we couldn't tackle him. That second half, he played real good. Maybe the first half, we didn't play so well as a whole team altogether. But the second half, I think Askew stepped up. I'm also going to give Askew my special teams player of the game, because when we're down, he steps in there and he does something that it's kind of hard to do, Paul.
He blocked a PAT.
You ever blocked the extra point or a field goal?
I never was even on the team to have a chance at it, so
We used to have a team. The coach would set up.
so I didn't have an opportunity. But I tell you what, when I was on the field, I used to try to jump up in the air quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, we took when I played, we had this team.
What about you, Russ? Did you ever block a PAT?
I did. I might tell you about it. I'm proud of it. Proud of that moment. I mean, we got the fool beat out of us that night. But we had this team called the Kamikaze. Me and Alex Williams and Jeremy Dillingham, the best I remember, would line up on the outside. And we called Kamikaze. It was wide open, lay out, and get the football. We used to practice this. Every day we was blocking extra points in practice. You lay out, and of course we had the dummies. We would get the little dummies and lay them out, and we'd dive to actually get out and block the kick. And Coach Wills had it down to a science from almost each team. At 1.6 seconds is all you had to get back to the holder to get to the football. And of course we're getting beat. I think it's 34-0 at BGA my senior year, the last game I ever played in. And I told Alex before we take off, I was like, man, I'm mad. They're lining up the extra point to get 35. I said, I'm hitting the holder. I'm hitting him. And maybe like Rudy, I was offsides, but guess what? I hit the holder.
And they didn't call you offsides?
I didn't get caught offsides. Maybe it was good. I don't ever remember being that quick. But just like I said, your adrenaline, I knew it was the last game I was ever going to play in. So you kick it up just a little notch. Of course, it's 4 degrees too, so maybe he mishandled the ball. I don't know. All I know is I was wide open when I laid out, and I hit the holder.
And he didn't make the PAT.
No, it was over. And we got him
You
down.
tackled him too, knocked him down and out.
I held it to 34-0. Well, what made me extremely mad is when they score again, they go for 2 and get that point back and beat us 42-0. So anyway.
But anyway, you still nailed the holder and got you a moment.
We're bringing up BGA. Do you know who once coached at BGA, Paul?
I have no idea.
We was discussing him earlier. One of the greatest legendary coaches in Gordonsville history. He's a legend at Gordonsville.
Did Turney Ford coach at BGA?
Turney Ford, for the best of my knowledge, he was. I think he was actually a basketball coach at Union University out in Jackson, West Tennessee, and he actually coached at BGA. And he's one of the few people that actually letter, and he got 9 letters at Vanderbilt. On playing 3 sports. That's amazing. There's only one of 3 people in history to ever do that to this point. Lettered in 3 different sports at Vanderbilt. And it may be Division I colleges in general. I don't know. He was a legend. But he did coach at BGA, and I think during that time he was actually in the Army at one point, and maybe served in a war or was drafted or something. At that point, I'm not real sure on that, but I have to look into the history of it. But he did once coach at BGA, and I think that's our coach told us that before we went down there. Of course, I never really got to play under Turney Ford or get to meet him for that matter. But I know who Turney Ford is, and I know how much he meant to this program. So I wanted to whip BGA, and we actually had them. It was 7-0. I think it was 13, 14-0 going into the fourth quarter. They scored right before the start of the fourth quarter, and we were moving the football and just couldn't score, and then it all started going downhill. But hey, looking back on this game, we got our butts kicked. It's time to move on to Pickett County. You said.
That's correct.
Where is Pickett County? Could you spot it on the map?
All I know it's a little ways from Livingston.
They call it Birdstown.
That
I'm
means
sure Uncle BS, he's probably got some information in this little. We'll bring up the next segment in our show here in a little bit. We'll talk about Pickett County and good things to come for the Big Blue.
Well, I think it's time we take a commercial break right now, and we'll get back and talk some more here in a few minutes.
It's time. We'll be back. Stay tuned in the Huddle.
Hey, man, Reno Bun here, man. I was calling to tell you, I just got back from going to some motor company, man. Got me some new brakes put on the car. Had one of them wasn't working right. Had a little bit of an incident. My tie rod broke. And somehow the timing chain in the transmission wound up around the gear shift or something other, and he created a vacuum and got that thing straightened out. Got me a new muffler bearing, put it on there, some new blanker fluid, even a new donut gasket, man. Put all that stuff on there, and I tell you what, I get home, I paid my bill, when I get home with my car, I get a call from Winfrey. He said, hey, man, check your trunk. I always leave a surprise in the trunk for all my customers just in case. Open it up, free brand new pair of shoes, man. He said, look, if something happens, I just give you shoes. I don't guarantee my work, but hey, you can walk wherever you need to go, man, just to help you out, just a friendly gesture. And that's good stuff, good to treat you like family. New shoes, fix your carburetors, do whatever you want. If you need that thing ported out and decked or whatever they do, they hone it, hone your block or whatever, and they can get that thing going fast. They can also make your old cars look good, man. Need any body work done, man? Body work. They can do it, man. They know how to mix up Bondo and all that stuff, and it smells great in there every time you go, man. You get higher than a cat. They can shoot lead-based paint on there. If you need good lead-based automotive grade paint, they can do it, man. That's who you need to go to. They don't mind taking the risk of cancers and stuff. Go there in the wintertime, gather around the wood stove, man. Still got old wood stove. It's hard to beat good companies like this. Just right across there from your Todd's Hair Design. Stop in, drop your car off, get your oil change, your transmission fluid. Even put your windshield wipers and car battery stuff like that. They can fix you up, man. I tell you what, they can do about anything there is to do on an automobile. They can do it. Jocelyn Winfrey, the owner of that place, old looking guy, losing all his hair. He always wears a hat with flames. I'm gonna tell you how to identify. Hat with flames of some sort. Loves flames, man. I tell you what, he wears a sleeveless shirt year round. Don't matter how cold it is outside. Shorts, flip flops. If you know it's cold, if you see Jocelyn Winfrey in a pair of boots and some breeches and long sleeves, you know it's cold. Put your jacket on. Don't even call the weatherman, man. Don't even call him. Call Josh Winfrey. He pays attention to all this stuff. And hey, fix you right up on your carburetors, man. Tell you what he'll do. Give you a free pair of shoes. Call 615-483-9709. Ask for Josh Winfrey. If you need to identify him, just remember sleeveless shirt with Gulf Shores or some Daytona Beach or something on it, man. Some kind of beach or some sort of Harley. Blue jean breeches from 1987, 88 time frame, and some sandals, Jesus sandals, Jerusalem Cruisers, whatever you want to call them. Go down there and he'll fix you up. He can fix your timing chain, your gear shift, whatever you got to do, man. give him a call, 615-483-9709, straight across from Todd's Hair Design. I'll holler back at you boys.
Welcome back to the other huddle.
Hut. Going on 6. All right. This is Rusty Burton and Paul Martin, and you are back in the huddle. We're going to talk today about what, Paul?
Reclassification.
This segment will be brought to you by who's Reno Bun?
Brought to you by Josh's Motors.
Gorville Motor Company.
Gorville Motor Company.
Mechanic work, easy car worked on, and anyway, Paul, reclassification. Big news yesterday. Gorville remains 1A. And one of our biggest rivals,
Trousdale County's going 2A.
Moved up to 2A.
And Middle Tennessee Christian and Nashville Christian are going to Division 2.
I think both of those. I really didn't look at Middle Tennessee Christian, but I know Nashville Christian, Division 2.
Middle Tennessee Christian's doing it also because I've seen them.
I'm pretty sure they're going to Division 2 also. I really didn't see many private schools in Division 1 anymore.
To tell you the truth, from what I've seen, to tell you the truth, private schools Division 2, so we're not going to have to worry about them anymore, so that's good news, Tiger fans.
I'm going to pull up the Google machine on the internet machine here. The Google on the internet.
Good news. We don't have to worry about private schools no more.
You're right. Now, I always enjoyed the rivalry with Trousdale County, and maybe, if I still say we go west, is my opinion. I actually talked to a couple people, and they seem to think we're going to go west also, still be in the western half of the state.
Even when playoffs come around?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When the playoffs, region, all that stuff comes out, which we won't know that for probably some time now.
But let's say we drop these 3 teams, Trousdale and Middle Tennessee Christian and Nashville Christian, then that means more likely we're going to have to put 3 new teams on our schedule. So
there you
go out and get.
Well, if you had to place 3 schools, I would definitely keep Trousdale on my schedule.
All right,
they usually set the bar. It's good competition, great rivalries, no travel, just right down the road.
All right, so we'll keep Trousdale. We'll make that decision.
You may like a different one.
And let's see, for other 2 more, so to pick 2 random schools, let's bring that Greenback Cherokee rivalry back. I like playing Greenback.
We did play them during the regular season. Maybe it was when you played.
Yeah, 2 years we played them.
I like the 2-year deals.
And not only that,
far up the road, but a good little trip. And you get to play somebody that they kind of set the bar a lot of times in the East.
And then if we're gonna pick another team, let's go out there and get Forest. I'd like to play Forest. Forest would be another one of those teams that could give us a pretty good challenge.
I don't know that we've ever played Forest, have we?
I don't know either.
I know we played them in basketball, softball, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know either, but I'd like to pick up Forest just to try to get a little competition.
Yeah, I like the a lot of people don't know this about my dad. He worked in Chapel Hill which that's where Forest High School is. He worked in Chapel Hill since the early 90s at United Telephone until he retired here just a couple years ago. And I know a lot of those men down there. And even when we went to Eagleville, some of the employees there, their kids went to Eagleville. And, I had one guy all day long on that Friday. I was down there working. I used to do a lot of contract work for him. And all day long, they were pumped up about the game with Gordonsville. And they were undefeated. And they were like, I don't think Eagleville knows what's about to hit them. And, I wasn't bragging or talking it up. I just listened to it all day. And, of course, they knew I was from Gordonsville trying to get some intel. Want to know how the game was going. And finally, we left at 4 o'clock. And about 3:30, I opened my mouth. And I was like, boys, I'm not trying to brag. I know what Gordonsville football is. And I don't think Eagleville knows what's about to hit them. And sure enough, we went to Eagleville and kicked some hind end because Gordonsville had a good ball team that year. And, I started telling them, look, players to watch for. And I started rattling off about 7 or 8 names. And they're like, wow, we get 1 or 2 good players a year. And you guys have 6 or 7 this year. And, that's the way that championship team, they could have played on any team in the state. Some of those kids could have. And, I made a believer out of them about the 3rd quarter when I'm standing there with me at the game. He said, you know what? Gordonsville has a good football team. Congratulations, And it kind of, it ruined their hopes and dreams of having that miracle season. But there's some good people down in Chapel Hill for us, so I kind of like that matchup. I don't think down there you would run into what you do when you get a hold of the Nashville Christians in the class. That team has a lot of good country Christian.
But I tell you, if we do decide to get rid of Trail Storm, we need a third team on our schedule. I kind of like the rivalry with White House Heritage too, because those kids are pretty good football teams.
We played them when they first come out. Didn't they just get a football team? What's it been, 10, 12 years maybe?
Yeah,
Maybe
and this team's already coming along quite nicely for a 10, 12-year school.
They have moved on up.
And
But I do like picking a team out of the East. I do like picking, if we stay to the West, which I think we will, I like picking a team out of the East.
But just one,
play,
though. Just one.
Just one. To kind of, as like a barometer. You know what I'm saying?
And Greenback is actually undefeated this year and playing really well, so that would be kind of like our measuring stick barometer game.
That's right. It gives you a good chance to do that.
And then if, like, say we can't.
Forest here's going to be 2A, so I do kind of like that. I think we would match up great with teams like that.
Then, of course, you having somebody like Greenback would be a barometer, and even Charleston County, if we keep them, I mean,
White House
you're going to be
Heritage is
tested.
3A. They're 3A schools. That's
So
they
that's
did some
kinda-
rezoning up there and stuff. I think so.
But that'd be a kind of a challenge game. We beat them, we'll be doing something, And of course, keep Carthage too, which is another 3A.
You got to keep Carthage. I've been gonna say this about Smith County. I love the rivalry. I've heard some people say they want to get rid of that game altogether and blow the bridge up, but you know what? I love the rivalry. Good people.
Well, what about Watertown? Do we
Good
keep
class
Watertown
when you
next
win
year?
and lose,
Do we
sometimes
keep
you
Watertown, or do we fill that game in too and get rid of them too?
Watertown actually surprised me. They stayed at 2A because I actually thought they were bigger than that, but they only had to be there for this year.
What about you, Rusty? Would you keep Watertown or drop them?
I like the Watertown rivalry. I do, but I think there are better schools to gauge yourself on.
To open up a season
Watertown. Yeah, I really do. I say we open up with the.
Let's see, opening week.
I like to go back to opening up with Carthage. Why we got away from that, I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason behind it. Of course, they got away from us first. They always started a week early.
So both teams gonna play a week early. Let's go out there and get maybe a Macon County or somebody. Just somebody.
Yeah, I like just waiting. Just wait it out and play your 10 games in a row. But that's just my personal opinion.
But you need to buy a week though, really, to heal up your wounds and stuff.
See Dresden here. They have their enrollment listed as 362. When you go to the website for their school board, it shows they're at 381, and I thought 375 was the cutoff, but maybe I could be wrong because I actually looked that up. Me and a friend were talking, and he brought that to my attention that maybe they hadn't updated their website, but I don't know about that. Dresden, they've been 2A in the past, I think. Maybe they've been 1A, but they're always right there on the borderline. And one thing I did notice is, you looking down through here, I'm going to get the total number here. There are 51 1A teams. And Richland, wow, 375 is the enrollment, which was the cutoff to go to 2A. So they're one of those that could go either way.
Well, what about our number? Could we go either way?
I am looking for Gordonsville right now on this list, and I'm just not seeing it. I know it's here because I've seen it earlier. We are team 36 with 327. So we still got 50 students or so to go.
So we can't go 2A.
Well, you can play up. You have until, I believe it's October 25th to make that decision whether you want to play up in 2A or play down in
Well,
classification.
considering we got all these teams that went to left the private school, I think we need to just stay where we at.
I agree.
Move on.
I agree. The competition level still stout. You're still going to have your
tired.
Wayne counties and Collinwoods and of course Monterey. I don't know. I think.
And I had one of our
they
fans.
won.
I had one of our fans talk about if the mine opens back up, could that possibly bring us in some new students and some new players here in Gordonsville?
I don't.
What's your take on that? Would that help us?
I don't think so. I think those people that work at the mine, there were some people, I knew several guys that were driving for several miles to get to the mine, and they pay well enough that families can afford to do that. They don't actually have to pack up their family and move to Gordonsville to be able to work at the mine, that they paid good enough.
So you don't actually think
Yeah,
they'd
but
bring us in
a
some
few,
new
yeah.
students
I
that
think we
would
might get
actually
a
help us
few.
out?
We might get a few, but I don't think it's going to make that big of an impact. But I could be wrong. Huntingdon, of course, they're at 1A, and they have been 2A in the past. So one thing I did notice about this, all the schools in Rutherford County are now 6A, which is amazing. Rutherford County is loaded with people, and you can tell it every time you go to Rutherford County and go to Murfreesboro. Hey, you're in a traffic jam. Well, as soon as you get off now, I go down 96.
I'll agree with that because I actually went to the MTSU game last weekend,
You did.
and it was a traffic jam, bumper to bumper.
Who'd they play? Western Kentucky.
They played Western Kentucky, and you would have thought that was Los Angeles. It was packed up down there in Murfreesboro.
It's a big
town for sure.
Big town. Well, all right, Paul. We've talked about the classification now, and the future might be bright for Gordonsville High School.
Yeah, and in the next few years, I think that our team can get us another ring. I'm actually stoked about it, man.
All right, I'm not going to talk ring just yet.
Maybe not, but I mean, I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking for the brightness of Gordonsville football.
I hope so. I do. I hope so, and I wish them young men the best. And as long as they go out there and represent our town the way they should, right. I'll be tickled, win or lose. But I want to win. That's just the way it is, and we all want to win.
Right. But if you have to lose with class.
Lose with keep your dignity.
And keep your dignity and integrity.
Keep your dignity.
Right.
That's one thing you can never get back is your dignity. And anyway.
So let's do that.
Well, all right, Paul. Closing. What do you say?
I say
go blue.
Go blue. Yeah.
Go blue. All right. Well, we'll be right back. We're gonna take a break for just a moment. We'll get back with you.
Hey man, Reno Bud here. I'm just calling in to tell y'all I have got the latest scoop on the insider information, man. Don't like politics, don't like to bring them up on your show, man, but very important details, man. I met a guy today earlier. Actually, he was your fan of the week last week. First time I ever met him, man. Mickey Barrett. All right. I tell you what, Mickey Barrett, I've heard some stories on how brutal he was in high school, man. He could knock your block off, but just a good, gentle giant, man. Good old feller. Seemed to be a great dude. But I tell you what he does, man. I added him on Facebook. He's my friend now on there. And if you want to y'all go on there and add Reno Bun to your Facebook page, man. Plan on posting up some good stuff, man. But I tell you what, this Mickey Barrett posts up some stuff, it cracks me up. We sit around work at the table and we laugh at it. He got all these anti-Hillary once a week, guaranteed. Mickey Barrett's gonna post up something anti-Hillary. Now, I ain't gonna say one way or the other who I vote for, because I'm a dumb poor redneck and I like my guns, I like my whiskey, whatever. Wild women, I like wild women. But I tell you what you do. You go on over to Mickey Barrett, add him on Facebook, man. He's trending, and when he's got this new thing once a week, he's gonna come out with an anti-Hillary post, and we're gonna call it MikiLeaks. Okay, y'all go over and check that out. I'm gonna holler back at you. Gotta answer another phone call. See you later, boys.
Welcome back to In the Huddle.
All right, welcome back. I'm Rusty Burton and my old cohort Paul Martin. We're ready to talk some Pickett County. First off, Paul, where the heck is Pickett County?
It's up around Livingston somewhere.
Byrdstown
or somewhere.
Flying into Byrdstown. Out in the middle of nowhere. I'm sure there's plenty of places to eat. Maybe there'll be another Hooters we can stop at.
They may have some ma and pa joints.
Yeah, I bet they will.
But
we got this selfie tradition.
For one thing for sure though, it's a dark field. There ain't no lights at their stadium too good, and they wear black and white jerseys. So we gonna have to wear our X-ray vision sunglasses there so we can see them. But
the jerseys I seen had a little yellow on them, so maybe we can look.
Maybe we can see them through the black and yellow or whatever.
What's their mascot? The Bobcats.
They're the Bobcats.
Bobcats. We ought to be able to handle the Bobcats. Tigers and Bobcats, surely that ain't no match.
Right, but they do have 3 kids to watch on their to watch list.
All right, we
Number
got 'em wrote down
34,
here.
running back.
Running
number
back.
20, wide receiver, and number 7, quarterback.
Hey, they moved the ball well against a few of the teams I've seen. Joe Burns, they actually put up, what, 28 points?
28 points.
That's pretty good. Considering they're 0-8, had a rough start to the season.
Yeah.
But like we said before in the previous episode, they're a basketball school. And
Right.
they probably have on their basketball shorts underneath their uniform. You know what I'm saying?
So when the
Maybe
game's
if
over, they can go out to the court.
if football was part of the curriculum up there, you know what I'm saying? Like, put a basketball goal on each end of a football field, and you got shoulder pads and a helmet, and not that, you know, you got to get down toward the goal line, put the hoop on the goal line, give them 4 plays, do it just like football, except combine it with.
So we ought to call it footsketball.
Footsketball. If we played footsketball,
Then they might have
they
an
would
edge on us.
probably be the favorite Friday.
I don't know though. I don't know about that though, because they got to beat us to the end of the court, end of the field, and then get the ball in the net. So
I'm sure
our
they'd
kids,
find a way.
our kids will beat them to the end of the court, take the basketball with them, and put it in the hole.
They like basketball up there. It's basketball country.
They do, and you may be right. They may be saying, let's go out there, hurry up and get this football game over, and then go to the court. And let's challenge them big blue kids at Gordonsville to a basketball game, and best 2 out of 3. Whoever wins the basketball game gets to decide what the third game's going to be. If it's going to be football or
Horseshoe.
basketball.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But best 2 out of 3. They might
Best
want to
2 out of
challenge us to a 2 out of 3 sport.
Hey, football is it's not been their top priority up there now.
However, they did win a football game, I think last year, over somebody. I forget who it was.
Yeah, you know,
They have won a ball game here recently.
At one time, they actually made ESPN. They were.
That was Red Bowling.
Red Bowling made ESPN, but they also made the news. And I was thinking it was ESPN. They had a female coach. Do you remember this?
Pickett County?
Pickett County had a female coach. I'll have to look this up. Maybe.
Was it in basketball?
No, it was football.
Really?
Really?
A female coach in football?
Pickett County football coach. Let me look at this. I'll just type it in Google here real quick, just see what I can find.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a whole article here from ESPN.com. And it's the name of the article. You type it in Google. How 2 women say football in one tiny Tennessee town. And it's actually got a picture of them from Byrdstown, Tennessee. And I'm just going to read this to you. It says, when you step onto the Pickett County High School football field, the first thing you notice is the grass, crunchy and dusty. Well, that describes half the fields we've played on this year. It's been kind of dry. Says the field is holding on to its wisp of green like a bald man clinging to his remaining hair. They just described Gordonsville football and my hair, what's left of it. Let me see if I can show you guys this. That's, my hairline's right here now. It's way on back there. So they just described the football field and me in one little paragraph. Let me go back to this. And it says, when it rains, the 50-yard line is like a miniature sinkhole. And it doesn't help that the football field is on a slab of land that's actually a baseball diamond in the spring.
It goes back to what I said. Looks like they play on a baseball field.
Like Salina, they used to have theirs combined, I believe, back when I played, which they kind of, Salina has one of the nicer fields you ever play at now. You're getting a booty call, Paul. Tell her to hold on, we're doing a show. It says, when you walk up the adjoining hill where all the sports teams run their sprints, you reach a locker room that's in not much better shape. Down a crumbling set of stairs over a puddle of standing water. It says you enter a dimly lit room where a few lockers just happen to be built. On game days, 28 football players squeeze into a space designed for 10. And you think about this. We have it made We actually have a good community that surrounds our football program. We've got it made, buddy. And I'm proud to be a Gornsville Tiger, but you know, I have a lot of respect for teams like Pickett County. You know, they struggle to field enough players, and you know, their locker room might be the size of our little shop here, our studio. So I mean, you got 28 guys dressing in there, and to the best of my knowledge, one of the females was at one time, one that helped coach was actually a player. She played on the offensive line and defensive line at Pickett County. You know, that's something to be said.
I mean, they let girls play on their team too, you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's 2016, buddy. They don't even know they're girls.
Do what?
They don't, you know, they can identify as whatever they want, which I'm not saying that in a bad light. I think it's great when you see female football players get out there. You
Well,
know,
how come Gornsville can't bring that out and have a female player play
could you know, when I played, we actually had a girl in my class
that wanted to play?
She came out for football and she eventually quit, but I think her name was Jody Starnes. I graduated high school with her.
So
And
that
on junior high, let me get this. On the junior high team a couple of years ago, the junior high team that was winning, we actually had a female. I don't remember her name. I'm sure my son could tell me, but she was actually a fairly decent ball player and played on the line. I don't think she come out in high school, but anyway, it says when you leave the school grounds, you see that the football team is simply a representation of the larger community. Byrdstown, the county seat, barely 800 citizens. You know, we got as many people in our whole school K through 12 as they do
in
the whole town. Yeah.
800 people.
Of course,
in
they
town.
pull in from the county. You know, I'm sure like we do. You know, we took what 6,000, 7,000 people to the state championship game, and you know, Gornsville, I don't know what, 2,000 people. 2,000 residents. It says 1/5 of the county lives below the poverty line, and it was devastated by a tornado in 1998. In many ways, still hasn't recovered. A sense of emptiness prevails. Dale Hollow Lake's nearby, but when the summer months screech to a halt, teenagers spend their Friday nights at the local Dairy Queen.
All right. We know where we eat now.
A Dairy Queen, that's right.
We can
There
eat
you
the
go.
local Dairy Queen, can't we?
That's right. So I'm going to tell you another interesting fact about Rusty Burton. I once lived in South Carthage, right, which was home to the only Dairy Queen around at one time, best I remember.
I do remember.
Remember
that
the old
place.
Dairy Queen? It was
I do.
eventually turned into apartments, and I lived in one of those for a couple years there, back in my younger days.
Yeah, I remember that because I remember back when you was living over there. Well, I ain't gonna tell that story, but
Yeah, we better not tell that story.
I'll leave that story out. But I remember.
It says anyway, most of their parents work at the local sawmill, boat repair shops, or other small businesses. Employment opportunities are limited in tiny Byrdstown. One caution light, which we have the same amount of caution lights.
How many they have?
We got a stoplight now down by
Did
the
you say they have
interstate.
one caution light?
One caution light, so we got them beating that category also. It says one caution light blinks in the absence of actual traffic lights. Maybe this will just describe where we're going, you know, Friday night. It says for decades, Pickett County was a place where much of the joy to be found came from the basketball gym. And it goes on to state they have 7 state titles between the boys and girls teams. It's amazing. So then they go on to talk about football.
All right,
In a
let's
state
hear this.
obsessed with the sport, Pickett County never had the resources or bodies to field much of a team. This is a county where football almost disappeared. And you hate to hear that, you know?
Yeah.
Like I said, we got it made. I love football. But they probably think they got it made when it comes to basketball. You know, I guess it doesn't take, 5 people to play basketball. It takes 11 to play football if you get somebody hurt. You know, it's just, it takes a lot.
Well, let's hear some more football talk.
All right, it says Pickett County football had an idea of what its savior would look like. That person probably wouldn't have looked like Brittany Garner. That's the girl's name. 25-year-old. She's 5'6", soft-spoken, and yes, a female. Garner is now the football head coach. Now, I'm not sure the date on this. I know this was a couple years ago, October 21st, 2014. So it's not that long ago, and I guess that's why it stuck out in my mind. So the former head coach, O.B. Caudle, I think's how you pronounce it, retired at the end of the 2013 season, and successor Jeff Holt was let go over the summer. Pickett County faced a dilemma. The school needed a head coach who filled the TSSAA certification requirements, and that person needed to be employed by the school system. The pay was $2,000 and wasn't going to convince anyone to just pack up and move to coach Pickett County. You know, that's not a lot of money to coach. There's as much time as they put into this. A head coach, even assistant coaches, put in more time than you'll ever imagine. So, says they looked around the hallways instead. Garner, who was certified because she's the head softball coach, stepped forward, knowing that if she didn't, her boys wouldn't have a coach or a season. It says Caudle, who had been grandfathered into the TSSAA's rules and did not have to be certified while at the helm, would come back as her assistant. So put simply, we had to have Brittany in order to make us legal. So, anyway, that was the birth of Tennessee's first female head football coach. That's amazing. A lot of people don't know this. I read this story on ESPN. It's actually on ESPNW now, which is, you know, the women's.
Well, did it tell her record playing there?
No, I'm not done with the article yet, so let me go on down. Said, I was never going to let them not play, Garner said. It means too much to them. So, just her saying that, we know football means a lot to some of the people there. It may not mean a lot to all of them, but hey, some of them love football. And, you know, she stepped up. Sometimes, you know, that's a good leader. You know, not just, she may not know a thing about football, but she stepped up and said, hey, I can do this. Said she'd never played or coached a down on football before taking a head coaching position. She grew up in Pickett County playing basketball and softball. She had asked during her freshman year if she could try out for the football team, but was told she didn't have the build. Said much of what she knew about football came from video games. I can relate to that because I'm always referring to NCAA or, you know, I don't play much Madden. I love the NCAA though. So it's more than what I thought it would be, she said. She says, when I play with Madden, I stick with blitzing all the time, doing silly stuff. It's not the same as Madden. Whoever came up with football is a genius because there's so much that goes into it. And looking at it from that perspective, she's right on that. I mean, there is a lot more to football. Everybody, sure, I was stating earlier that somebody told me Mitchell Kirby was open all night, and I said he'd been open all season. But it's much tougher to get that kid to football than people realize.
Because you've got to take into consideration that quarterback is being blitzed and he's under a ton of pressure and he might not be able to see what we see.
He's relying on them men to protect him, and if that wall breaks down, he's got to be ready to make a split-second decision.
And he might not see the guy open.
Sometimes you don't get all day. It says, although the video game version of football isn't the same as the blood and guts version, Garner still learns from the joystick. She said that she and her boyfriend, Brad Crowder, played Madden much more often since she got the job. It helps her understand how the X's and O's on her playbook pages move in real time and how all the pieces fit together. If that sounds a little alarming, for a head football coach, that's where Caudle comes in. Caudle, who has 11 years of coaching experience in Pickett County football, from Pee Wee on up, still calls the plays and runs practices. Garner is in her position mainly for administrative duties, motivation, and of course to keep the program alive. On the sideline, she won't signal in a play or stand in the huddle to give an impassioned speech about linebacker play. Instead, she goes to individual players to offer words of encouragement or a pat on the back. Her players love her and rally around her, just not the traditional football coach way. You know, sometimes that's all it takes.
Which that's like a Brandon McCoy on her team, ain't it?
Maybe just a little motivation.
And maybe from the stands, maybe a Paul Martin.
You look at their record; they're 0-8. They may be 0-8 because they're just not very good at football, but they poured their heart and soul into that field. Sometimes you get beat, and you're just it's hard to say you're not good enough to play the sport. You know what I'm saying? But when you play teams like this, you have to respect them. Play fair, and you know,
shake their hand.
Pick them up when they're down, because you know what? they're out there doing something that probably some of our players wouldn't have the courage to do. In a small town where you know you're not going to win many football games, to get out there and play, hey, that's saying something in my book.
Yeah. And I've been there. I've been there because I played on a Pee Wee team one year that went like 0-8, 0-10, something. We never won a ball game, and hey, it just sucked. I mean, it just sucked going into every game every week, just knowing you're gonna lose. But hey, I mean, hey, sometimes you just got to get to the point where you just go out there and say, I love playing football. I love what I do. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna have fun and I'm gonna make the most of it.
There you go. Here's what one of our senior wingback, which tells me they run a wing team, says, just the fact she stood up in a tough situation and took over, I think it brought a lot of energy, the fact that she came in. You know, so they had to have somebody, and she stepped up and done the job. And she
So they run wing T then.
I'm assuming so. Now, this is a couple years old. They may have, since hired a coach or something. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know much about that program or really much about that area. It says much of that energy is coming in the form of TV stations and newspapers wanting interviews. Something you can probably relate to. You got any TV stations since your fame here on In the Huddle skyrocketed?
No, not really.
Nobody's really. Well, we'll see if I can get the Courier to do a big interview on Paul Martin. The first host of In the Huddle.
But this ain't about me though. It's about them kids. So let's talk football.
Anyway, they had their first homecoming parade whenever she was there, which is good. That's something I'm glad we brought back too. It says families came out of their houses to wave. Elementary school let students come outside to watch, and businesses all paused their operations just so they could see this. So football, they're trying to get it back going in Pickett County. And
supposedly, we don't know for sure, but supposedly we heard rumor this is their homecoming this week against us.
That's right, we did hear that, and I don't know how true it is, but that's just what I heard. I originally heard we tried to get them to come to us and they couldn't because it was a homecoming game and all that good deal. So, but anyway, the next article goes on. That was about the first lady that saved us. There's two women in this article. It says the second was the cheerleader turned lineman. All right. Now, we joke around a lot and, maybe sometimes we say some things, after you're beating up on a team pretty bad and you're like, hey, coach, send in the cheerleaders. That's...
But everybody the matter is, they did turn into cheerleader, didn't they?
And they had one tough cheerleader.
What was this girl's name? Do they have a name on her?
Samantha Harden.
Samantha Harden.
That's right, Samantha Harden. It says Pickett County's homecoming game against Clay County. Samantha Harden's voice could be heard a half mile away. Later, when one player suffered a gash on his forehead, Harden sat him down on the bench and wrapped gauze around his skull, trying to keep the blood out of his eyes. Hey, cheerleader, nurse, assistant coach, football player, lineman, she can do it all, buddy. It said, in many ways, the road to Garner's acceptance on the football field was paved by Harden. Now, I could say that would probably be a challenge, just being accepted by a team. Sometimes even as a male, you try to be accepted. You know what I'm saying? You become a part of something when everybody accepts you into that. A 2013 Pickett County graduate, a 4-year starter on the line in high school. That's amazing. 12-year veteran of the sport. Harden has been a staple of Pickett County football ever since she was 6-year-old, taking off onto the field with the boys, still wearing her Pee Wee cheerleading outfit. Eventually, she was asked if she wanted to switch uniforms. That's amazing. And you gotta give them women a lot of credit for
stepping out on that field with the boys.
That's right. See, some of her teammates said she was the most knowledgeable, understanding blocking schemes and footwork technique more than any other lineman we've probably ever had when I was playing. That was the quarterback that said that, Ben Neal. Said he played with her through Pee Wee and 2 years of high school until she graduated. And it says, I grew up with her. From what I knew, girls were allowed to play. But anyway, that's an interesting article. it don't really show their records or much like that. I can't really say.
But what it does show is they even though they're 0-8, they still take pride and they gonna fight you to the whistle.
That's right.
And give you all they've got. So I can respect that because you're out there playing, you gotta enjoy what you do, and it sounds like these guys enjoy what they do, and they're looking for a victory. So
That's right.
I mean, a lot of other people's probably got the assumption we're gonna go down there and blow these guys out, but hey, you don't know that. We got to go down there and play this game just like any other game. We got to get on them fast.
I'll tell you, like I told the last guy I got in a fight with, buddy, I'm 0-30. I'm due one, so look out. Today might be my day. So you never know. You gotta have a lot of respect for the team. First off, they go out there and they fight through
Adversity,
just like every other football team, except maybe on a smaller scale. And they still have to battle through that.
and really last week was kind of like a win for their program.
Hey,
they put 28 points up on Joe Burns.
They actually did score some points, and
That's a
they're
win for their
capable of
team.
scoring. So you got to look out. Defensively, you got to be on your toes. That's all there is to it. So, with that being said, Paul, Pickett County Friday night, who's going to step up and play football?
What do you mean?
I mean, who's going to be our playmaker? We've been waiting all year for Mitchell Kirby, and I knew it was coming. He broke out of his last week against Nashville Christian. He kind of broke out. I'm not going to call it a slump. It's like he just never got any breaks along the way. Of course, he put up big numbers against Nashville Christian and fought hard. Earned our Player of the Game award on offense. Do you expect him to try to go downfield to him more? We're going to stick more to the running game, or what do you expect to see Friday nights? Maybe what I'm asking.
I tell you what, I ain't seen a lot of action out of this kid all year, but let's get Bailey Roney involved. Let's see what Bailey can do. Let's throw it to Bailey and let him make some plays for us.
He did something last week.
Get Bailey involved.
This is something I was proud of. All right, he gets the kick return. They kick it short to him. He heads upfield. He don't go side to side. And guess what? It's almost time to get hit. He lowers his shoulders, covers the ball, and hits somebody. You know, if you're going to get tackled, make them earn the tackle. And Bailey did that.
And
I love to see a kid run forward. You know what I mean? If you get hit, you get hit. But just, I'm going over you. And basically, that's what Bailey said. Bailey's worked hard in the offseason. I know he has. He's got good hands.
Yeah, so let's get
I'd
that
like to see
kid
him have a
involved a little
breakout
bit.
game.
And
I
I like to see the young kids get in and get some action.
I would too.
So let's unload our bench and hey, that Chris McKinley
You got to
kid.
get a lead before you can do that.
That Chris McKinley kid though, number 6, I think it is, got great speed. He's already got a 93-yarder this season. So
that's right.
Love to see him.
Longest pass reception for the Tigers.
And love to see him get involved this week and make some plays for us. And as far as the main team goes, I'd like to see Jesse Meadows get a few good runs.
Yeah.
And
another kid that steps up, and he does a lot on the football field, and nobody ever sees it. He actually caught several balls last week. Was Stallings,
right.
A good hard-nosed kid.
Like to see him step up.
There was at one point he was wide open. If we could have just hit him, ball was overthrown a little bit, or maybe he slowed up. I don't remember what happened, but sometimes it takes so much timing and execution in the passing game.
And a lot of people don't really think about this as much because they're doing a lot of blocking. But hey, our tight ends. I mean, maybe we could get Chris Edwards to ball, or maybe whoever we got lined up tight end.
Maybe we could put.
Maybe we can get one of them.
Tristan Pope in the backfield, and just hand him the refrigerator Perry right up the middle.
Yeah, that might work. Run the Perry route.
But yeah, I do expect that we should be a heavy favorite.
I think we'll have a lot of luck, and I just like the idea of spreading the ball around, letting different ones stand out and make some plays, and
another thing too, you're playing a team. They're 0-8 and they've been struggling. I do expect to to win. And I do like to see those young guys get in there and play football. And when you do that, we're coming up on the playoffs, okay?
Yeah, and that actually gives your main players a chance to rest a little more.
You've been going now, what, 5 or 6 games in a row. We had one bye week, but you got bumps and bruises you need to get over, and
so let them young kids play and rest up your starters.
Rest some of them, maybe. Like I said, not overlooking Pickett County. It's just the way it's traditionally gone in the past. That's kind of what we come to expect. But what I do expect, unlike last week, they were up 41-7, airing the ball out.
40-7.
40-7.
Yeah.
Of course, we discussed that earlier. You got to know when to call off the dogs. All right, and I expect our coaches, and I know from just past experience, our coaches have more.
If we get about 28-34 ahead,
they're not. We're trying to win a football game.
Listen,
we're trying to win a football game, not take the other team's pride and dignity from them.
Right.
Right. We don't want running the score. Of course, the way the TSSAA has a lot of it set up now with tiebreakers. Let's just say, for example, Charleston County beats Nashville Christian, then goes into a 3-way tie. It goes to wins and losses. Of course, the tiebreakers broken all the way around that scenario. Nashville Christian beat us. We beat Trousdale. Trousdale beat Nashville Christian. Not to say that's going to happen. It's just, if it did, just a scenario. Then the tiebreaker goes to points for and points against, and I'm totally against that. I don't believe in running up the score on anybody. Now, when you look back, maybe Nashville Christian had that thought in their head when they were playing us so hard late in the fourth, trying to score points. What's the difference in that game? And of course, college football, they got to doing that also. And
because
it kind of
of the
takes
fact
away
of the
from
rankings and all this and that.
That's right. To me personally, it takes away from the sport. Now, if I'm playing my grandma, whether we're playing checkers or tiddlywinks or whatever, I want to win. I do.
But that don't mean you're going to try to
I don't want to embarrass my granny too bad. You know what I mean?
Right. So I'm about like our coach. I don't give a dang about the tiebreaker. I expect us to show some class and we end up where we end up. I mean, keep your sportsmanship, keep your class, because hey, we're in the playoffs, so just go win your ball games and you'll be all right. Don't matter about tiebreakers and all this and that.
Don't worry about tiebreakers. Winning and losing takes care of itself anyway.
But special teams, I'd like to see us go return a kick or a punt return and take it to the house.
We did watch Joe Burns did that to him, right? Maybe on a couple
a time or two, yeah.
On occasion.
We haven't got one yet this year. I want to see one, a kick or a punt return for touchdown.
Yeah, I don't think we've got one of those in a few years. That would be nice, just to show that you can do it. Like I said, we want to keep our dignity, keep our pride and dignity about us as well as the other team, and just.
And we don't want to leave Pickett County with those people thinking, talking dirty talks about us, about that's the dirtiest team we ever played, blah blah blah. You got to keep your class and keep your Christian character, because
you nailed it.
You just can't go out there and play ugly, because that's not bringing praise and glory to God, and that's what this is all about. Because you just think about it, if He don't give you another breath. What's it matter? What good is it?
What's it matter?
So you got to praise and honor God. So just don't worry about running the score up. Just go play your football game and win your ball game, and don't be ugly about it.
I agree. Call off the dogs when you need to call off the dogs.
Amen.
That's the way it works. Paul, you ain't got no blocking techniques you want to show them, or?
They're gonna learn that in practice this week. Coaches are gonna give them enough of that. So
yeah,
you just got to get your hands on the man and push him out.
Yeah, there you go. It's fall break up here. Sometimes maybe that could play a factor in Friday night. The kids aren't geared up for. Maybe on a little different schedule than they have been going to school and all that. So.
Well, is this game a Thursday night or a Friday night game?
It is a Friday night game. Originally, what I'd heard, we were trying to move the game to a Thursday night, and have them come to us and split the gate.
But they didn't want to go for it, so
of course,
we're
their
doing it
homecoming.
Friday.
played a part in that. I'm not going to say they are doing it on purpose. That's the way it fell.
So we can
That
respect
was the
them
game
for
they did
that.
their home. That's right. We're on the schedule to go to them. We ain't gonna complain. We're going to them,
And that might be a good thing, to tell you the truth, because we may get some road playoff games, so we
That's
need
right,
to
it's
get
good.
practice on the road.
you ought to be able to play football no matter whether you're on the road or what. Just get the fans.
Get them riled up. And I tell you, that's something I was a little disappointed in last week. I mean, you pay your money, I understand. You buy your ticket, you pay your money to church or whatever.
Popcorn. Somebody got you popcorn.
Yeah, there was a man. Thank you, Thad, for the popcorn.
Thank you, Thad,
it was
for the
good, but
Bring you
but I
popcorn.
mean, you pay your ticket. I understand that, to sure or not sure or whatever. But man, those kids out there on that field, they're battling and they're fighting and they're giving you everything they got. I mean, the least you can do is at least cheer these kids on in the good times and the bad. I mean, come on, we're Tiger fans. That's what we do.
That's right.
Support them young
Load
men.
your van
They feed
up.
off your energy.
Load your van up and head up to Pickett County. Put $20 worth of gas, maybe 30 in case you get lost, because I probably will. And hey, let's head up I-40 eastbound. Get off and head toward Livingston.
And
Just
if we
keep
find
going.
some ma and pa that want, then come eat with us, because we may be the two most wanted people in Pickett County.
There's one other thing I have to do here, and we haven't mentioned this so far. Is
Now it's time to talk some Uncle BS stats.
Uncle BS stats. Well, we was talking earlier, Paul. You brought up an interesting point. We was talking about the Thomas Wright pass.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were wondering how Bob Dillard he just sat down in math class one day and draw this pass up.
Right.
And he actually got this from one of his old coaches, we've determined, because what happened, the same end around option pass that Paul Martin ran, of course they didn't.
I didn't run it.
Well, your class, your football team
Yeah.
ran it.
Thomas Wright attempted to pass
Thomas
it.
Wright attempted to pass it and it was incomplete, correct?
Yeah, and they'd actually tried, by my understanding, they'd actually tried that on Carthage too, and he got hit for a loss. But, so it was 0 for 2 and it never did work. But I had actually wondered where that play come from. So, do you have some stats on where that come from?
I actually do. Let me, I'm going to try to do something here. I'm going to pull in an image and just see if I can get this. Now, I have a couple of them here. That's not it. Anyway, it was a newspaper clipping from the Tennessean, 1984. We do the end around option pass thrown from who?
Bob Dillard.
Bob Dillard, who says, remember his old saying you told me? Everybody's got a plan to get it.
Everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the mouth.
Get hit in the mouth. They actually dialed this play up in a state championship game and hit Thad Underwood.
56 yards.
That's right. Bob
Touchdown.
Bob Dillard's passer rating is what, 1,000?
1,000. 1 for 1, as far as we know.
56-yard touchdown. Now, I had another stat. I'd actually talked to one of my friends last Friday night, and we actually discussed the fact that when he played in 1995 against Red Bowling Springs, he goes in and throws one pass completion for a touchdown to Jokey Woodard. And the quarterback's name was Tim Chappell. So Bob Dillard and Tim Chappell, as far as we know, there may be others. Maybe throw this in on some trivia. Who else has a perfect passer rating at Gordonsville High School?
And we may have more people step up and tell us about it in the future. And if they do, then that'd be greatly appreciated. And I believe we got the stat for y'all. We went and looked at our research papers, and I believe we got the stat that the longest field goal in Gordonsville history was 42 yards.
No, I really don't think so. We looked that up in the paper, and I do remember lining up, and I'm pretty sure it's officially 37, and we got that this year.
I thought somebody told us there was a 42-yarder.
I do remember kicking a 42-yard, but I don't think he made it. Now I'm going to look this up right here. I got to bring something in.
So somewhere between 37 to 42. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 37.
Halliburton, if you're watching, which I know you are.
Congratulations, kid. That is as far as I know, that is the record for
Halliburton, if you're watching, if you kick a 45-yarder, you're in the record books.
He's in the record books anyway, the way I see it, because
But go kick a
nobody has
45-yarder.
proven to me yet.
Let's just go kick a 45-yarder and make a new record.
Yeah, nobody's proven to me yet that he hadn't done that. I got to find one picture here, and for some reason I'm not finding it. I don't know what to do. I'm lost without it. Well, I think it's going to be right here in this one.
And I have another stat for you. Stevie King and Noah King is the only father-son combination to ever win a state championship at Gordonsville High School.
That's a good little fact. They did both play on state championship teams.
And win one.
All right, so Paul, I'm going to start reading to you here. Uncle BS Statistical Research Group has sent us some information here.
All right.
Fun facts about Pickett County.
All right.
It says the brute train is still rolling right along. Research shows that brute sales have fallen off at the dollar store in Gordonsville even after the law. Haven't fallen off at the dollar store in Gordonsville even after the loss on Friday. That's good though. Brute sales are still up. Got a brute up Friday night, Reno says. It says Byrdstown is home to two of the finest Democrats to ever grace Tennessee soil. The late Cordell Hull, former Secretary of State and former U.S. House of Representative member Lincoln Davis. So Mr. Davis is also the father-in-law of Gordonsville legend and the principal of the Gordonsville Elementary School. Did you know this? Shane Cornbread Baden. His father-in-law is Lincoln Davis from Byrdstown. Of course, Miss Lynn is from Byrdstown area. That Pickett County is a Democrat stronghold, so look for forward-thinking ideas and global warming talk, but you just might get something free at the concession stand. Because we all know how those silly old liberals enjoy giving stuff away. So ask for your free hot dog and cold drink at the concession stand Friday night. It's pretty interesting. Says, every Labor Day Sunset Marina in Byrdstown holds boat races. Says Uncle BS says that the boat races will continue well into Friday night. And his score prediction, Paul. First off, I want to get your score prediction.
I'm going to go Gordonsville 62, Pickett 6.
62-6. Now here's Uncle BS's prediction. It says Gordonsville. I'm gonna give you his Pickett County score. He's also chosen 6 as a magic number, but Gordonsville's score. It says as bad as Coach Marshall wants the score to be. And we just talked about this. There's no point in running the score up on somebody. Uncle BS says it can be as bad. Now if he wants to score 40, then we'll score 40. If he feels safe at a 34, we'll score 34. If he feels safe at 50, that's what we'll do.
I said 62-6, but hey, I just said it earlier. We don't need to run the score up.
Exactly.
So let's just go get 40 points, win the ball game.
I like to have 42, perfect on the extra points. 42 to 6 or 12.
When we hit her 35, 42 points, whatever, we'll be all right. So
call off the dogs and
let's just end it.
Have a little respect for our opponent, unlike Nashville Christian has for us. And maybe they did respect us more than they should anybody else. I don't know.
But if we hit 35, 42 or something like that, we should be pretty safe. So we'll just leave it at that.
All right.
What's your prediction?
I'd say 42. I'd like to say 42-12.
All right.
Give them the dignity of scoring a couple times.
All right.
Paul, next week we're going to try to get a special guest in here again. We didn't have one this week, but we will try to get one next Tuesday.
And tune in next week for that surprise guest. We're not going to tell you who it is yet because that would ruin the fun.
Now I'm going to go ahead and throw this out here. I know if you're still listening and you've sat through this boring show once again, we have an Easter egg in this recording. There is an Easter egg on set. And it's not the trophies, but if you can find the Easter egg, if you'll send me a private message, it's just be good fun. I'll post the names of whoever gets the Easter egg by Friday, by game time. If you find the Easter egg, point it out to me in a private message, or Paul even, message one of us on Facebook, and we'll let you know whether you're right, and we may have a drawing. Everybody that gets it right, we'll put your drawing in for a free license plate with a big G on it. Nice license plate. Blue chrome with a big white G. And remember, get those turned in by Friday. Find the Easter egg. If you find it, let us know. Paul, you got any final words? Encouragement to the boys, the young men going up there?
Let's go down there Friday night, play within the rules, keep your Christian character, and get that win.
Get the win. We just posted up about, I'm trying to think. We just posted up about the Uncle BS, and I'm trying to find something. I just can't seem to find it here, but I'm going to. I've got so many files on my computer, it's hard for me to keep up with them. We've had so many things here. I'm gonna play you a little sound. The brute train is coming. I don't know if you heard the brute train, but like I said, it is a coming. Let's play that one more time. You hear that brute train, Paul?
Yeah, it's a coming.
Tell them we're coming.
We're coming. We're coming
Reno
to Pickett
Buns
County
brute
live and in charge.
All right.
And I don't know if my co-host over there can find it or not, but we actually the other night caught Reno Bun in the audience doing a little dance and a jive at the game.
I almost forgot about that, Paul. I'm glad
Show the footage. Let's see that footage of Reno Bun dancing to the jive.
Let's see if I can find the footage. And you know, if you've stayed tuned this long, you deserve to see this, because this is rare footage of Reno Bun dancing. Let me see if I can throw this up here. Alright, you gotta pay special attention. Footage there, folks. Extremely rare footage of Reno Bun dancing at the ball game to what was the name of that tune?
I don't know. It was just something the band was playing.
It was a classy tune. Be My Girl, I Wanna Know. But yeah, that's a good classic there. Reno Bun dancing in the crowd. Done ate all his popcorn. He brought it with him. Mr. Thad Underwood bought my buddy here.
Yeah.
He forgot to bring.
And if you hadn't had none of that Gorgeous Tiger popcorn yet, I just want you to know it's some good popcorn.
That's some good popcorn.
So get you some of it. I think he said it's like $1 a bag, so it's not like it's outrageous.
Can't beat the price. Well, Paul, it's been a good show, buddy.
Right.
Tell the viewers bye.
Goodbye from In the Huddle. We'll catch you next week.
Hut hut.
Hut hut.